Hello friends, welcome to State Engineering Service examination section of Winds of Change. We will cover so many questions from the civil engineering topic here from Expert IES. You may contact us at windsoftchange2020@gmail.com, and for the study material you can download from the link given in the description box. You can subscribe to this channel to stay updated for more videos. You may like these videos if you feel useful for you and comment for any feedback. Welcome to 150 questions of environmental engineering. This is second video in the continuation of 150 questions. In this video, we will cover questions from 51 to 100. So let's begin. 51st question. The detention period of coagulation tank is usually kept as 1 to 2 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, 2 to 6 hours or 2 to 6 days. For coagulation tank, remember, for coagulation tank the detention period is kept 2 to 6 hours. Okay, so the answer is C, that is 2 to 6 hours, not in days, not in minutes, 2 to 6 hours. Next question, the detention period for oxidation pond is usually kept at. So this is in the oxidation pond, facultative oxidation occurs and it takes a lot of time. The detention period is much larger in case of the oxidation pond. So in this, the detention period will be 10 to 15 days. Okay, 3 months is not a detention period of for any process. The maximum days that is required is detention period of oxidation pond only, that is 10 to 15 days. Next question, if the sewage contains grease and fatty oils, these are removed in grid chamber, detritus tank, skimming tank or sedimentation tank. So the fats and oil, these can be removed in the skimming tank. Okay, so option C is correct. Now in the skimming tank we can see here that since fats, oil, grease, these are having their density is lesser than density of the water, so they will float at the top of this water. The water that will be formed as effluent will be at the lower level and above it there will be oil and grease. The design discharge for a separate sewer system shall be taken as equal to dry weather flow, 2 into dry weather flow, 3 into dry weather flow or 6 into dry weather flow. So the design discharge for separate sewer system, this is for separate sewer system, this is taken as 6 times of dry weather flow. Okay, always remember it, it is taken as 6 times of dry weather flow. Next question, the design discharge for the combined sewer system, now it is asking for combined sewer system, shall be taken as equal to rainfall plus dry weather flow, rainfall plus twice of dry weather flow or rainfall plus 6 times of dry weather flow. So it will be taken as rainfall plus 2 times of dry weather flow, that is option C. This is also important question. Okay, this is for combined system and previous one was for the separate system. Next question, the major disadvantage of lime soda process of water softening is that it is unsuitable for the turbid and acidic water. Huge amount of precipitate is formed which creates a disposal problem. The effluent cannot be reduced to zero hardness. It is unsuitable for softening the water of excessive hardness. So this lime soda process can work in excessive hardness also. So this is wrong. The effluent cannot be reduced to zero hardness. It is also wrong because lime soda process can remove hardness up to zero level. It can remove all the carbonate and bicarbonate hardness very easily. It is unsuitable for turbid and drinking water. It is also not correct because it can work in any condition, and huge amount of precipitate is formed, which is the correct because the precipitate is formed here of this calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide. You can watch here, the product of magnesium carbonate is soluble. To remove it, more lime is added. Okay, you can see here in the lime soda process the chemistry, this is CaOH whole twice which react with MgCO3, then CaCO3 precipitate and MgOH whole twice precipitate is formed, and magnesium non-carbonate hardness such as magnesium sulfate is formed in it. Okay, and this will be removed as CaOH whole twice plus MgSO4 gives out CaSO4 plus MgOH whole twice. This is also formed in a precipitate form. Okay, so this precipitate in this chamber, you can see here that these reaction occurs at this top level From here we will provide heat to accelerate the reactions, and through this at the bottom we can see here the precipitate is being removed in the form of the sludge. So in this the removal problem may occur in the lime soda process. Here we can see that these chemicals are added from this side, raw water added from this side, and the effluent is taken out as in the form of softened water, which is then again filtered in some sand filter, and then the filtered water is taken out in the lime soda process. Okay, so answer will be here, that is huge amount of precipitate is formed which creates a disposal problem, that is option B is the correct. This is the disadvantage of lime soda process. Next question, assertion and reason. Assertion: slow sand filters are more efficient in removal of the bacteria than rapid sand filter. Reason: the sand used in slow sand filter is finer than that in rapid sand filter. So first of all, the slow sand filter are more efficient in removal of bacteria. This statement is correct. Okay, this is more efficient than rapid sand filter. And why this is so? Because sand used in the slow sand filter is finer. Always remember, these are finer sand are being used in slow sand filter. That is why the speed of the filtering operation is slow. So the correct answer here will be both A and R, that is assertion and reason, are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. Next question, which of the following sewers is preferred for combined system of sewage? For combined system, circular sewer or egg-shaped or rectangular or none of the above. So obviously circular is not preferred, circular is preferred for separate system. We will prefer egg-shaped sewer here. Okay, the main advantage of an egg-shaped sewer is that for small flows, the depth is greater and the velocity is somewhat higher than circular sewer of the equivalent capacity. Thus, egg-shaped sewers have better self-cleansing property at small flows as compared to the circular sewer. Okay, so when the discharge will be lower in this, since in the egg-shaped sewer the cross section, that is the width, is lower at the bottom, so the velocity will be higher at the bottom in case of the low discharge. Okay, so that is why in the case of the combined system of sewage, egg-shaped sewer is preferred. Next question, the settling velocity of a particle in a sedimentation tank increases if particle size is decreased, surface area of tank is increased, the depth of the tank is decreased, or none of the above. So here the answer will be none of the above, because the settling velocity of the particle in the sedimentation tank will decrease because of these reasons. Since particle size is decreased, obviously with increase in the particle size the settling velocity will increase. Okay, if it is decreased, then settling velocity will decrease. Surface area of the tank is increased, this is also absurd, and the depth of the tank is decreased, we will see it later. Okay, so answer will be none of the above. Next question, air binding phenomena in rapid sand filter occurs due to excessive negative head, mud ball formation, higher turbidity in the effluent, or low temperature. So air binding phenomena occurs in rapid sand filter due to excess of the negative head. The negative head which is formed in excess, that is why air binding phenomena occurs. Now what does it does? The negative pressure so developed tend to release the dissolved air and other gases present in water. The formation of the bubbles take place which sticks to the sand grains. This phenomenon is known as air binding, as the air binds to the filter and stops its functioning. So in this, what phenomena we can see here, that because of the negative pressure that is developed, there will be release of the air. Okay, air and gases that will be released from the water that were initially dissolved in the water. Now they will form the air bubbles, and these air bubbles will be stick to the sand grains. Now this phenomena, that is the sticking of these air bubbles, this is called the air binding, and because of it the filter may stop its functioning. Okay, it will clog out the filter or choke out the filter. Next question, the chemical most commonly used to increase speed of the sedimentation of sewage is sulfuric acid, copper sulfate, lime, or sodium permanganate. So the chemical that is most commonly used to increase the speed of sedimentation of the sewage is the lime. Lime will be helpful to increase the speed of sedimentation. Okay, because of its reaction with the other component in the formation of calcium carbonate. Next question. The main disadvantage of oxidation pond is that large area is required for construction, maintenance and operation cost are high, BOD removal is very low, or none of the above. So in the oxidation pond, you should know one thing, that large area is required for construction. It is right. Maintenance and operation cost are high. This is very incorrect statement, because maintenance and operation cost is very low in case of the oxidation pond. We have to do nothing. Everything is done by simple natural phenomenon of the algae in the form of facultative oxidation, that is both in the aerobic as well as anaerobic condition developed in oxidation pond. And BOD removal is very low. This is also incorrect, since BOD removal is good in case of the oxidation pond. So this only the disadvantage will be A, that is large area is required for construction. Next question. The hydraulic mean depth for an egg-shaped sieve flowing 2/3 full is equal to hydraulic mean depth when flowing full, less than hydraulic mean depth when flowing full, greater than hydraulic mean depth when flowing full, or none of the above. So it will be C, that is greater than hydraulic mean depth when flowing full. Okay, so it is not so important question. Next question. Settling velocity is unaffected by specific gravity of solid particle, size of particle, depth of tank, or temperature of liquid. So settling velocity, let's see the formula of settling velocity, that is G rho p, that is density of particle, minus density of water into dia of particle upon, this is 18 mu, that is viscosity. So here we can see that it will depend upon the diameter of the particle, that is size of the particle. It will depend upon specific gravity as the density is mentioned here, and with temperature, if we increase the temperature, then settling velocity will decrease. We know this relation also. So it will be unaffected by the depth of the tank. It is not affected by the depth of the tank. Okay, so the answer C is correct. Next question. Turbidity is measured on standard silica scale, standard cobalt scale, standard platinum scale, or platinum cobalt scale. So the answer is A, that is standard silica scale. We will measure turbidity on the basis of standard silica scale, and it is based on the depth of the sample in the tube was read against the part per million, that is ppm silica scale with 1 ppm of the suspended silica called 1 Jackson turbidity unit, that is JTU. This is done using the flame. We will see that the dilution ratio at which the flame will be can be seen by naked eyes clearly. Okay, so in this way we will find out the JTU, that is Jackson turbidity unit, and these are on the basis of the scale of silica, that is standard silica scale. Okay, next question. The maximum discharge of a tube well is about 5 liter per second, 50 liter per second, 500 liter per second, or 1000 liter per second. So the answer is 50 liter per second. Okay, next question. When there is no recirculation of sewage, then the recirculation factor is 0, 1, infinity, or none of the above. So for this we have to go under the formula of recirculation factor. We can see here that in this formula it is 1 plus r upon 1 plus 1 minus f r whole square. Okay, where r is the recirculation ratio and f is the treatability factor. Usually this value is taken as 0.9. So this formula becomes 1 plus r upon 1 plus 0.1 r raised to a whole square. Okay, so in this, if there is no recirculation, then this recirculation ratio, that is the ratio of recirculated water to the initial discharge, it will be 0, because there will be no recirculation. So if this value becomes 0, so this factor will become 1. So the answer is B, that is 1. Next question. On standard silica scale, the turbidity of the drinking water should be limited to 10 ppm, 20 ppm, 30 ppm, or 50 ppm. So on the basis of standard silica scale, which we have seen earlier in the previous question, it is A, that is 10 ppm. Okay, turbidity should be limited to 10 ppm on the basis of standard silica scale. Next question. The most commonly used sewer under culvert is circular brick sewer, circular cast iron sewer, semi-elliptical sewer, or horseshoe type sewer. So under culvert, always remember under culvert we will prefer circular brick sewer. Okay. Next question. Groundwater is usually free from suspended impurities, dissolved impurities, both suspended and dissolved impurities, or none of the above. So it is free from suspended impurities because suspended impurities are already being filtered out in the ground. When we extract this water, these suspended impurities are not present, only the dissolved impurities can be present. Next question, the layout of the distribution system in which water flows towards the outer periphery is ring system, dead end system, radial system, or gridiron system. So from inner to outer, this flow can occur only in the radial system, okay, in which there are stations being created at which the water is supplied through a main, and now from these stations it is being distributed towards outward direction, okay, at east side. So that is why we can say here that water flows towards the outer periphery. So it is radial system, okay. It gives quick service and the calculation of pipe size is easy in this system. Next question, the biochemical oxygen demand of a town is 20,000 kg per day and BOD per capita per day is 0.05 kg. Then the population equivalent of the town is. Now population equivalent, we have to find a population equivalent. The BOD, that is total BOD of the town, is 20,000 kg per day and per capita is 0.05. If we divide it by per capita, then we can obtain the population equivalent. Population equivalent is biochemical oxygen demand of a town upon BOD per capita. So the population will comes out to be 4 lakh. That is option D. Okay, option D will be the correct answer. Next question, the specific gravity of the sewage is much greater than 1, slightly less than 1, equal to 1, or slightly greater than 1. So this value will be slightly greater than 1. That is option D is correct. Okay, because in the sewage there will be presence of some solids which will be having its density more than 1. Okay. Next question, the effective size of the sand particle used in the slow sand filter is 0.25 to 0.35 mm, 0.35 to 0.660, 0.60 to 1 mm, or 1 to 1.8 mm. So the answer is A, that is 0.25 to 0.35 mm. This is the effective size of the sand particle in slow sand filter. Okay, 0.25 to 0.35 mm. Always remember it. Next question, chlorine demand of the water is equal to applied chlorine, residual chlorine, sum of applied and residual chlorine, or difference of applied and residual chlorine. So it will be difference of applied and residual chlorine. Okay, the chlorine demand can be obtained by subtracting the residual chlorine from the applied chlorine. Okay. Next question, corrosion in the concrete sewer is caused by septic condition, dissolved oxygen, chlorine, or nitrogen. So obviously corrosion can only be caused by the septic condition. Dissolved oxygen will not cause corrosion, or chlorine or nitrogen. So the answer is A, that is septic conditions will cause the corrosion in concrete sewer. Next question, the commonly used material for water supply pipes which has the properties of being strong, not easily corroded, and long life but is heavy and brittle is steel, cast iron, copper, or reinforced cement concrete. So all these properties which are being mentioned here, that is being strong, not easily corroded, and long life but is heavy, all these properties are being present in cast iron pipe. Okay, because these are the pipe which are brittle also, which is being mentioned here, this is brittle. Okay, so the answer is B, that is cast iron pipe. Next question, the suitable layout of a distribution system for irregularly growing town is dead end system, gridiron system, radial system, or ring system. Now for irregularly growing town, since all these three systems require a pattern, only the dead end system is the one which does not require a pattern, so it will be preferred in case of the irregularly growing town, that is option A will be the correct answer. Okay. Next question, the consumption of water increases with increase in the distribution pressure. This is assertion, and reason higher distribution pressure causes more loss and waste of water. So I think all this is correct, both the statements are correct, and because of this, because of more losses and waste of the water, as the pressure will be more, so there will be higher consumption. So A should be the correct answer, that is both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next question, Which of the following values of the pH represent a stronger acid? I think this question should not be asked. 2, 5, 7 or 10. Obviously we know that 2 will be the stronger acid. Lower the pH value, higher the acidic character. Next question. The distribution means are designed for maximum daily demand, maximum hourly demand, average daily demand or maximum hourly demand on maximum day. We are asking about distribution means. So distribution means are designed for maximum hourly demand on maximum day. Okay, so answer D will be the correct. That is for maximum hourly demand on maximum day. Now sewage treatment units are designed for, now we are talking about sewage treatment units. Sewage treatment units are designed for maximum flow only, minimum flow only, average flow only or maximum and minimum flow. So obviously the sewage treatment units are designed for average flow. Okay, answer C will be the correct answer. Since we are talking about the treatment units, if we have to talk about the pipeline or the supply channel through which the sewage will flow, then that will be designed for the maximum flow. Next question. For satisfactory working of a sludge digestion unit, the pH range of digested sludge should be maintained as, for digested sludge, the pH range should be maintained as 6.5 to 8.0. Always remember we should maintain it at the in the range of neutral pH value, that is 6.5 to 8.0. Always remember it, it is very important. Next question. The pathogens can be killed by nitrification, chlorination, oxidation or none of the above. So pathogens can be killed by chlorination process. It is very easy question. Although several methods estimate disease causing microorganism in water, chlorination is the most commonly used. Chlorination is effective against many pathogenic bacteria, but at normal dosage rate, it does not kill all viruses, cysts or worms. But it will be helpful, it will be killing most of the pathogens. Okay, so chlorination is the process that is used to kill the pathogens. Next question. Orthotolidine test is used for determination of dissolved oxygen, residual chlorine, biochemical oxygen demand or dose of coagulant. So orthotolidine test, this test is used to determine the residual chlorine in the water. Okay, how this test is being performed to find out the residual chlorine? This test enables total free and combined chlorine in the water to be determined with speed and accuracy. The reagent is analytical grade orthotolidine dissolved in 10% solution of HCl. Always remember it is dissolved with 10% solution of HCl. When this reagent is added to the water containing chlorine, it turns yellow. The intensity of the yellow color is proportional to the concentration of the chlorine. Now this yellow color is produced by both free and combined chlorine. This is also important to know that this yellow color will be obtained from both free and combined chlorine, and we have to obtain the residual chlorine in the form of free chlorine. So the yellow color is produced and matched against the chart within 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds, the yellow color that will be obtained, that will be because of the presence of the residual chlorine. Okay, this gives the amount of the free chlorine. The yellow color appearing after a few minutes gives the amount of the total chlorine. Okay, so now I think you have understood that what is orthotolidine test for determining the residual chlorine. Next question. Period of cleaning of source and filter is about 24 to 48 hours, 10 to 12 days, 2 to 3 months or 1 to 2 years. Now we are talking about slow sand filter. Slow sand filter will be cleaned in 2 to 3 months. Okay, so C will be the correct answer, that is 2 to 3 months. Next question. The rate of filtration in slow sand filter in million liters per day per hectare is, rate of filtration in slow sand filter in million liter per day per hectare. In this unit it will be 50 to 60. 50 to 60 million liter per day per hectare is the rate of filtration of slow sand filter. Always memorize it. Next question. The working condition in Imhoff tanks are aerobic only, anaerobic only, aerobic in the lower compartment and anaerobic in the upper compartment, or anaerobic in the lower compartment and aerobic in the upper compartment. So what will be the answer here? In the Imhoff tank, there will be anaerobic condition in the lower compartment and aerobic condition in the upper compartment. So answer D will be the correct answer. We can see here in the Imhoff tank, at the bottom we can see at this section. Here in the bottom we can see the anaerobic condition that can develop here, and at the top there will be condition of aerobic. Okay, so the bottom will be anaerobic and the lower compartment, and aerobic in the upper compartment. Okay. Next question, the self-cleansing velocity of all sewers in India is usually less than 1 meter per second, 1 to 1.2 meter per second, 1.5 to 2 meter per second, or 3 to 3.5 meter per second. So memorize here, this question is also very important. Self-cleansing velocity for all sewers in India is usually 1 to 1.2 meter per second. In the revision of wastewater engineering on this channel only, in that video we have mentioned all these. Next question, the method of analysis of distribution system in which the domestic supply is neglected and demand is considered is circle method, equivalent pipe method, electrical analysis method, or Hardy-Cross method. So in which the domestic supply is neglected and fire demand is considered, this type of method of analysis of distribution system, this is circle method. Okay, that is A, it is circle method. Next question, residual chlorine in the water is determined by, we have already seen it, starch iodide method or orthotoluidite method, or both A and B, or none of the above. Since orthotoluidine we are confirmed about it, there is another method to determine it, that is starch iodide method. So answer will be C, that is both the methods can be preferred to obtain residual chlorine in water. We have mentioned these in the video of water supply engineering revision, you can watch it at this channel only. Now starch iodide test is, this method of determination depends upon the oxidizing power of the free and combined chlorine residuals. Chlorine will liberate from iodine from potassium iodide solution at pH 8 or less. The liberated iodine is titrated against standard sodium thiosulfate solution. Remember, standard sodium thiosulfate solution using starch indicator. In the starch iodide test, we will test the liberated iodine is titrated against standard sodium thiosulfate and using starch indicator. So through this we will determine the residual chlorine. Next question. The means of access for inspection and cleaning of sewer line is known as inlet, manhole, drop manhole, or catch basin. So the means of access for inspection and cleaning of sewer, very easy question, it is called manhole. Okay, that is option B is the correct. What is a manhole? A manhole is an opening to a confined space such as a shaft, utility vault, or large vessel. Manholes are often used as an access point for an underground public utility, allowing inspection, maintenance, and system upgrades. Okay, so I have explained this manhole in the revision of wastewater engineering. You can watch it at this channel only, where this is being properly explained. Next question. The phenolic compounds in public water supply should not be more than 0.1 ppm, 0.01 ppm, 0.001 ppm, or 0.0001 ppm. So the answer will be C, that is 0.01 ppm. The phenolic compound should always be less than this value, that is 0.001 ppm. Next question. The water carrier system of the collection of the waste product is cheaper in initial cost than dry conservation system. Required treatment before disposal creates hygienic problem, or all of the above. So water carrier system of collection of waste product. First of all, it is not cheaper in initial cost. With compared to the dry conservation system, if we see that this is not cheaper, obviously it will be costlier, because laying of the pipe below ground level, this will be, obviously it will be having higher cost. Now it requires treatment before disposal. This is correct, because before disposal, before disposing of the sludge to the ground, or before disposing the water that will be obtained from here to the stream, we require the treatment. Now create hygienic problem, obviously it will not create hygienic problem. Okay, so the answer will be B. Next question. In chlorination, with rise in temperature of water, death rate of bacteria increases, decreases, remains unaffected, or none of the above. So the temperature will support the chlorination process. So with the increase in temperature, the death rate of bacteria will increase. So answer A will be correct. Next question. The characteristic of the fresh and septic sewage respectively are acidic and alkaline, alkaline and acidic, both alkaline. So it is talking about fresh and septic sewage. So in case of the fresh sewage, it will be alkaline nature, and after that when the septic condition will occur, it will be acidic in nature. Okay, now pH value of the fresh sewage is usually slightly more than water supplied to the community. Most of the soaps, detergents, cleaners, certainly laundry agents as well as bleach are alkaline in nature. The common range of pH of the fresh sewage ranges from up to 9. Okay, so why this sewage is alkaline in nature? Because of these kind of agents like soap, detergent, cleaner, etc. Because of this it will be alkaline in nature, and after that in the septic condition it will reach into the acidic category. Next question. An egg-shaped section of sewer is economical than circular section, provides self-cleaning velocity at low discharges, is more stable than circular section, or is easy to construct. So egg-shaped sewer section of sewer is providing self-cleaning velocity at low discharges. Okay, that is why it is being preferred. Next question. Most suitable section of the sewer in the separate sewage system is rectangular, circular, standard form of egg, or modified egg shaped. We are talking about separate sewage system. In the separate sewage system, we will prefer circular section. Okay, and we do prefer for combined system, we do prefer standard egg shaped sewer. Okay. Next question. A sewer that receives the discharge of a number of house sewer is called house sewer, lateral sewer, intercepting sewer, or submain sewer. So from one house, if it receives the discharge, it is called house sewer. Now they are talking about number of houses, so it will be called lateral sewer. That is, B will be the correct answer. This will be the lateral sewer which will receive discharge from so many houses, and it will lead it to the main sewer. Next question. Standard EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid solution, is used to determine the hardness of water, turbidity in water, dissolved oxygen in water, or residual chlorine in water. So EDTA test is done to find out the hardness in water. The total hardness of the water is estimated by titrating the water sample using EDTA using Erichrome black tree, that is EBT indicator. This is very important to memorize which indicator is being used in EDTA test, that is Erichrome black tea, that is EBT indicator, and this is used to determine the hardness in water. Okay, so we are finishing here with the question number 100. We will come in the next video from question number 101 to 150. Till that, subscribe to this channel to stay updated, and for any problem mail me at windsofchange2020@gmail.com.